I'm kind of like deciding to go ahead and send this message. Um, yeah, like I've got a plan on like how to achieve what I set my mind out to, and when I say plan, I feel like I don't have a full plan. I have an idea, right? I have an idea of like what I want to do, what I want to achieve, and I guess like right now it's like, yeah, I only want to get rich. You know, like right now, I realize that I focus so many times of like putting my energy into so many different vessels of the game that I realize that like, nah, like I have to just focus on the brand and like build this and allow myself to mature in that regards. Like I've been doing it since 2019, so and it's 2025. You know, like for me, it's like, like if you ever been in class and like you're in math and you're trying to figure out this problem, but you got to go to tutoring. The tutoring, you're gonna have to spend a little bit more hours. You have to come after school to actually understand the concepts. And in my opinion, running this brand has been like uh, me going to business school, right? But it's like you're gonna have to come in extra hours to actually understand business because nobody's here is like giving you handouts to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna teach you how to run this band. I'm gonna teach you how to run the back end. I'm gonna teach you. Nobody's doing that with me. So, and every time I have searched that, people aren't, there's always misinformation that is not fully, being given. There's no blame on their part. It's just like, cool, right? So these last 6-7 years of me learning the brand and learning the business and understanding like who we are catering to has been interesting because like I've always catered to what I liked. I always catered to how I felt about a situation, how I looked at certain things, and I always wanted to be the center of attention. So a lot of times when I think about my customer base and like what's the thing that is niched about them and what I believe that they like too is the same concept. It's the same understanding about like, hey, this is how we run things. This is how we see things. This is how things are put together. And yeah, I just been these last couple of years have just been learning the game. Like yeah, I'm fucking slow. It's cool. Like I'm not telling myself like, oh shit, you're behind the curve. One thing I've always told myself essentially was always, no, they just haven't seen it yet, right? They just haven't actually been in my situation or actually seen what I'm capable of doing, or they just haven't seen my product. So what do I have to get better at is brand identity. All right, business structure, the back end things, learning, how to make good financial decisions, making sure what money is allocated to where, all these different things where some people, they just get it, right? People get it. You could start a brand today and you will probably just, I love the business shit and you just understand it. I like the fact that, yeah, even when when I needed math tutoring and I went after school and it clicked, there's no way that I'm gonna forget that formula. It may have taken longer for me to understand the concept of this math formula and why it's being used and how it's used to get this problem and solve these different types of problems and how you can cater that to find the solution. That is where I strive at because not only where I'm not getting handed these formulas on a platter with the solutions and somebody teaching me, I'm going out there, I'm learning these solutions, I'm learning these games that are in business. Like, yeah, there's like the whole business structure of like how to play the game, how to use tax codes, how to, have write-offs, how to play the fucking game. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of games in this game of business where sometimes it's faster for other people. You know, for me, it's been slower because I haven't, one, number one thing, I didn't really know I can turn this into a business. I started off where I was like, oh shit, like I can start making clothes and start making money, you know, but I can ultimately just be creative. That was my structure. And I've learned this being in school and studying, you know, the people that design, and the brands have gone under because they never knew how to run the back end. So have I. Creatively, boom, went up, got money, liked the money, didn't know what to do. Boom, had a stunt, went up, blew up, went viral. Boom, lost all the money. Back again to the point where I'm like, oh, I'm taking these steps where I'm like, hey, okay, I have all these. Okay, it's time. You know, it's time to start taking this serious, and that's where I'm at right now too. Is just like sometimes you just gotta start taking the concept serious. There's a time where it's like you can't keep trying to figure out how to solve this math problem with the way you're thinking about it. Sometimes you may just have to go to tutoring. Sometimes you just may need to put in the extra hours and to study up on what makes sense and why does it make sense in that area. There's a lot of things that I recognize that I struggled with, but now I'm looking at it where it's like the solutions are there. You know, like the designs are there, the people are there. If you really want what you want, it's gonna happen, and I truly believe in that. And I promise you, like the stuff that I'm cooking, the things that I'm making, the lives that I'm about to change, the staff that I'm about to hire, the team that's gonna be fucking producing, it's gonna be different than what it has because it's been a struggle, you know, like. But my overarching thing is like caring for our people. I want people to win, and I want them to bring them best selves every single day. So that's why, yeah, when I think about my brand, I think about Apple. Yeah, we're in the same light. Why not? You know, why not be in the same light as Walt Disney? Why not be in the same light as Nikola Tesla? You know, like why not? You know, why can't I urge and pursue the greatness of that? Why can't I continue to live a life that is filled with Jesus, that is filled with the way that how he walks? Why can't I achieve those things? You know, that's the real coordinates of like aligning myself with great works. You know, like this is to not look at things in such a way that I'm like, oh, this is not, because here's an idea. Here's a what if. What if I draw pieces and I work with a designer, creative or graphic designer, and these so-called pieces started to blow up? Now, what if that happened in 3 months? Now, what happens after the next 3 months we blow up? And so 6 months from now, we have hired 2-3 more staff. What happens when we hire a designer, another designer on the team? What happens when we have a stylist, a marketer, and we start adding these elements to this team? Now, imagine fuck these brands have started this fuck these brands method of growth, and we were capable of achieving great things because we always knew that we aligned with ourselves with great designers and artists of our times, and people are no different than us. You know, that's the crazy thing. It's like I'm no different from the person that's took 1 year to grow their brand to $1 million+ in revenue a year, right? But what happens when our profits are immense and there are great profits? What happens there? What happens where we're starting and we're doing patterns that people aren't doing? You know, what happens? You know, we are now showing in Paris, Milan, Tokyo, New York. What happens when we actually become a staple? You know, what if? You know, that curiosity is insane. You know, what if this was exactly what I thought and I envisioned 5 years ago, that fuck these brands can be a global brand that's lasted longer than Supreme, that outdo our competitors. Now people want to come and fuck these brands because we're doing creative stuff. That's what if is so insane to me, and we're doing, I was gonna say $10 million in revenue. What happens if we do $100 million in revenue? You know, what is the pull of that thread that connects everybody in these customers to being like, yo, I don't even know what happened, but fuck, these brands changed the game. What if this was the decision that I needed to make in order to reach that? What if we change the nature of what a brand is, what a name is? What if? And there's so many possibilities of the numerous IPs that I have, the numerous things that are constantly going through my mind, that I just question and really just sit here to be like, wow, the possibilities are endless. So that was my streamline of thoughts, but I like doing this, man. I think every time I do record on here and I start thinking about the possibilities, it really gets interesting because I know that there's an opportunity here. There's an opportunity, man.